Welcome back. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mukali. Let us know where you're watching us from. 111 that is our SMS line. It's going to cost you a shilling. So just be part of the conversation. Send in your questions. If you are looking to get into the world of PR, if you're a journalist and you're just looking at making that transition, if you want to get into that space straight on from, from high school and that's what you want to study, well, this conversation is for you. Randy Bumper. So this gentleman will sit here and pretend he doesn't know what cameras are doing, ako anxious, na vitu kama hizo lies. Because he's been here before and made a transition. I'm talking about Joel Chacha and not our Joel Chacha. I know we have our own. This name is huge. Hii jina ni kubwa sana. Karibu sana Joel.
Asante sana.
Unajua tuko na wetu hapa?
Yeah, that's Joel Chacha is my nephew.
Yeah. Tuliona post pale ameandika bonge la my mentor, role model. And your CV, your CV quite literally. Now I understand what he means.
Yeah.
Because you've taken huge risks at a very young age. Mm-hmm. And somehow they've worked out.
Yeah.
And most people will not take that chance. They'll just be like, I'm okay with, where I'm at right now. Everything, status quo is fine. Let me just stick around for a bit.
Yeah.
Without following what is burning inside them or what it is that they want to do. But let's just go back.
Yeah.
This is what you studied for. Journalism.
Yeah. So this is something I've always wanted to do since I was 4. Yeah, so I wanted to either become a journalist and practice either PR or become a pastor. So those were the two options I had.
You just had to be on a pulpit somewhere.
yeah.
Attention.
Yeah, so now when I joined, actually my high school is just down the road. I was in highway. Mm-hmm. So in Form 1, you know how people have been asked, what do you want to be?
Yeah.
A lot of people are talking about lawyer, doctors, engineers. So I just say the same thing. I've always stuck to what I wanted to be.
Okay.
Because I come from a huge family, as you know, and a lot of us did journalism. So there's Richard Chacha, there's Tom Musoba, and there's my sister also, Josephine, who also did journalism. So when I was in class 4, I saw on TV and asked her, I didn't know. I just saw in the news, I'm like, what are you doing on TV?
Yeah.
I didn't know what she used to do. So she told me I'm a journalist. So that's how the love for journalism started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you finished high school, immediately you knew. And
yeah.
Because the family was in that kind of business, then it was easy to get mentors who would walk the journey with you. Where did you go for your university or to get the education?
I went to USIU, where I'm currently also the journalism alumni. Chairman. So I lead the journalism alumni group. So I went to USIU, and during my second year, what I'd realized, and this may be something that some people who are watching should do, when I was in second year, we realized, USIU, they like calling them freshmen, sophomore.
Yeah.
So when I was in sophomore year, let me not let down there.
Tumenda US was work with me. Get in line. Okay.
So I realized a lot of people were graduating, but they're not getting jobs. A lot of these media houses are looking for people with 3 years experience.
Yeah.
Where you're going to get that and you just graduated. So then that's when I started looking out for opportunities. Then that's when I joined in a media house here as a reporter trainee, but through the help and mentorship of the lecturers there. They could see the passion. So, when people went for holidays, I'd stay there, try to edit, do a bit of stories. So you also have to show, I think for most people, you have to show that this is something that you're really passionate about.
That's
the problem is some people join this profession just because of the flashlights. They want,
I want to be famous.
Yeah, they want to be like Mwikali. I want to be on TV. But even here, I bet you've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could tell people where, back in the days where I started off, you'd have to walk to town, to get into the office. People don't see that. They see where you are currently, and they don't know it took a while.
Before you got there.
Yeah, before you got there.
So I like something that you mentioned, that when you were in school, you stood out even for your lecturers.
Yeah.
And I would say the same thing from the college that I went to, that all the students that really stood out, they pushed themselves to do something extra.
Yeah.
It would be the lecturer who's probably knows somebody in a media house who will be like, peleka tu karatasi yako fanya internship huko, because they would see. But then if you're just in class and not pushing yourself, then nobody will see what it is that you want to do and what you want to be, and you won't get help.
Yeah, no one will. And at that time, my dad had retired. So what he told me, this is the best I could do, is offer you education.
Yes.
Once you're done, then you have a chance to either come to Isibania, that's where we're from, to help the farm, or you follow your passion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Passion wins. Passion wins. So
Yeah.
you were in school, second year, and then you find your way into a media house.
Yeah.
How was that for you? You must have been like, mimi nafanya mchana, jioni niko shule.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard because now I had to try and balance school and work. And a lot of people that I used to work in the newsroom told me that one of the things I shouldn't forget is finishing school, because a lot of them hadn't finished. So I tried balancing. So I'd do then 1 p.m. I'd take different classes to try and balance it out. But when I was almost graduating, I realized that I was slacking in class. So then I switched to doing the morning show, where I'd finish at lunchtime, then I'd go for classes. So at least to catch up with everyone.
That worked for you.
It worked for me, yeah.
No kamaliza.
Nikamaliza.
Did they? So at this point, at the workspace, are you employed or are you an internship? Are you on internship?
So they call it reporter trainee. I was a reporter trainee there for a while. You know, you guys this time we use in the newsroom.
There's somewhere I went, we were called artists for the longest time. You'd be there for years, but I was an artist. But anyway, so you finished school. After finishing school, did you get the job now?
So immediately, so before I graduated in 2011. So I'd had it with the media. So I wanted to do the shifts now.
Oh,
yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
That was like cheating life. No, not in a bad way,
Yeah.
But you'd already experienced this and you'd figured out that you don't want it. Why the shifts?
So I felt the newsroom. So I felt that the newsroom, yes, was a good place, but then I felt like I wanted something else, something more challenging, because it had become monotonous. It's the same thing, it's the same VO, and us broadcast journalists, the script is very short. So I felt like I wanted to venture into something else.
Were you studying this as well?
Yes, so I did a minor. I did a major in broadcast and a minor in PR.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
So at least we have some papers for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So when you chose to make the switch, was there a particular direction you wanted to go? Was there a company that you were looking at? Ama, you're just like, you know what, fine.
Yeah. So in 2011 I moved to Sweden for a while. Yeah. Then in Sweden also what happened is that time there was a lot of transition. So there was a lot of convergence. A lot of media houses in Sweden were shutting down, because I thought I'd move to Sweden then take it up. But it was hard, because even there, they were downsizing. And I stayed there for a while, and I realized maybe I should just go back to Kenya and explore, try PR.
Okay.
So
that was courageous. I think there's just,
Yeah.
you just make these huge leaps of faith and be like, you know what, I will land somewhere and I will take it up from there. So it didn't work out.
It didn't work out, because a lot
How
of media...
old were you at this point?
How old was I? In 2011. 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was I? Yeah. I'm trying to do the math. Yeah.
24. That means by that point, Joel, you were already married.
Yes. I got married very young also.
Told you guys.
Yeah.
Leaps of faith. This is the guy. So you got married at 21.
23.
23.
Yeah.
Still,
I got married at 23. Yeah. And
What-
it's hot here. I'd forgotten how hot.
Vile kama nakupeleka mbio, Joel.
No.
The light.
The lighting.
Ulikuwa umesahau.
When you're outside there doing a piece to camera.
Piece to camera, kuna hewa.
Kuna hewa. Hapa
I think I
sisikii
got
hewa.
used to them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I did. But
I know it's fine.
okay. We're going to go on a break shortly.
No, it's fine.
Before that, so why that young?
Oh, so
In terms of marriage, we'll get back to Sweden in a bit.
Yeah.
But let me just take
oh,
you
why
back to that.
that's because so my wife and I met in 2009 and had lived together for a very long time.
Okay.
So we've been together for 12 years now.
Okay.
And we have two lovely sons. So who I think they're watching. So I
Okay.
have Mio and Abe.
Ndio camera, salams.
Salam. Mio and Abe, hi. Yeah, and even I
Okay.
think Agnes is also watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even we're both journalists. So
Ah.
she's a journalist. And
So she understood the journey.
yes, she understood the journey. She knew what it had to take. Yeah. And we also understood each other. The problem is a lot of people who marry from different professions, they don't understand our timings.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could be walking home, then you're told today you're in charge, you're doing the night shift.
Something just happened.
Yeah,
We
or
have a
something
fire
just
somewhere
happens
else.
there and
We
you're
need
told
you
to go cover. Yeah. So that's one of the things that really helped us a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you came back to Kenya.
Yeah. So came back to Kenya, applied to all PR firms. No one responded apart from Tell 'em PR where I currently work.
That's the only one that actually responded to you, and you actually got it.
Yeah, and actually got it.
Okay.
So we met the MD there, Elizabeth Cook, who's now become a very good friend, because I rose up from because then also back then a lot of PR agencies don't also hire directly unless
Plus,
they're looking
you
for
didn't
you.
have any. Did you have any like experience? Did you?
No.
So this was just fresh.
Yeah, this is fresh.
That means you have to start at the bottom.
Yeah, you have to start because they're not looking for you. So then you have to start from the bottom, but then you show. And one of the things I appreciate is the fact that, you know, I'd made a lot of contacts in the newsroom. So that really helped me a lot in the newsroom and in PR, because one of the things that we need as PR practitioners is your connections, your social capital with the media, with the journalists. You know, for you to pitch for stories,
Yes.
or, you know, press releases. So that's what really helped me now, and that's why I appreciate the fact that I went through the newsroom, because then some of the people that I'd pitched to are people we used to meet in the field. So it made it very easy for me.
That I think what you're saying is very powerful, because I've also seen a lot of guys who've been in the media even for many years. The one thing they transition to almost immediately is PR, and somehow it works out, because the two go hand in hand, and probably that's why we study that in school as well. They go hand in hand as well. If you're in that field, if you are looking to get into that field as well, and you have any question, please send that in 111-444-111, because Joel Chacha is still going to be here with us as we take this short commercial break. Atajibu maswali yenu. Switch TV KE on Instagram, Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. We will be right back. Welcome back to Full Circle with Mikali. I'm having a good laugh here with Joel. Well, Joel, trained journalist, turned PR, made the switch and joined Telem, and started at the bottom. Yeah. But the title now is GM. Yeah. But 10 years in. Yeah. So it was no mean feat. You had to work your way up.
I had to, and but one of the good things that Telem offers a lot of us is there's room for growth.
Okay.
So you could easily see a lot of people rise. But so I rose up to 2017. I was at Telem. I left. I joined Ogilvy. Now at that time, as I told you, you know, at the beginning, I tried applying for jobs at all agencies. No one responded, but Telem did. And now, towards 2017, 2016, all other now PR agencies wanted me. So everyone was reaching out.
They kept the thing that you sent.
No, now it started reaching out because they could see
what
the
work
we
doing.
could do. Yeah.
It's like I sent you guys.
Yeah.
Didn't you see?
Yeah.
Didn't you see? Okay.
Yeah, but I stuck at Telem, and in 2017 I took a break. I went into Ogilvy, where now I used to run other big accounts. So like, I know you've seen KQ. I did the maiden flight to Mauritius, Cape Town, and did a lot of strategies for now the maiden flight to New York. And Safaricom was also one of my clients. Stayed there for a year, then I decided to go back to Telem. So I went back to Telem in 2018.
Why all these transitions? What were you looking for at the beginning? So you start off and all you have is your newsroom connections. Yeah. That's all you have.
And writing skills.
And also. Writing skills.
Yeah, because you need
all the things that you started, you studied, and now you have something extra. But then as you go on, you build something for yourself. Yeah. And being trusted with such huge organizations is not easy.
No, it's not.
There are people who will just be in the business but will never be given those accounts. Yeah. What would you say made you stand out?
I mean, I'm very proactive also. So I'm not the type of person who will just sit back and just, rely on the client brief. So I'm always looking out for opportunities which we can obviously try and leverage, new opportunities. So yes, you always get a brief, but what else can you do apart from the brief? So going that extra mile really made me stand out. And in 2016, in the agency Telem, we won a lot of awards. There was the best campaign, PR campaign of the year, best media relation campaign of the year. So I think people could see that, but I can't take credit for that because it's a team. One of the things I always credit is, it doesn't take one person. You have 5 fingers, but if you cut this small finger, your hands might not work as well. So it's always a teamwork, but I always go that extra mile. That's one of the things that I've always done and I'll always do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you moved, that means you didn't burn the bridges at Telem when you moved.
No.
Because it was easy for you to come back, or did they come poaching as well? You know, those it's in the season. In the season gani ile ya transfer window.
So I just, because I'd worked at Telem for a while, I just wanted a different experience to see what other agencies do, and that's what I saw. But then after a while, I felt back, you know, Telem also was really calling, and this is where I started off. So I decided to go back where I started the grind.
Okay. And rising up to where you are now, did that happen in 2018? That was 2019, I think.
So yeah, it happened. So you know, the good thing is that Telem will also reward, you know, talent. So if we see that you have potential, and that's one thing we've always encouraged. Even if you come to Telem right now, and we're not fixated with titles. If you come to Telem, you'll find me sitting with everyone downstairs. So it's not like other agencies where you'd find MDs have, or whatever, general managers are sitting in an office alone. Then that way it brings that breakdown of communication. Sometimes, you know, people have, you know, personal experiences. I might come to work today, you know, maybe my son was sick the whole night. But, you know, if I'm not sitting downstairs with you and there's some work that was due, then I'll start harassing you, and it just makes your day a bit messed up. So that's why I prefer just sitting with the team, so you understand there's a lot of synergy. We know what's happening. No one is dropping balls. And that's what I've always loved about Telem. We're a family. Okay. And if you look at Telem, one of the things that we excel in is client retention and employee retention. You know, we have people, you know, like myself, who went left and came back. Yes. So there's something that is happening, and there's something that they're doing right. They've been, you know, we've been in business for 22 years, and we have clients who we've serviced for more than 16 years. So if, you know, there's something definitely that we're doing right.
That's true. For anybody who's just watching this show this morning and wonders what it is that they need to get into that space, apart from going to school and all of that, what else do they need? What other values? Do you need to be a good speaker? What are those other extras that they will need apart from just, you know, going to school to study PR? Yeah,
you need to be a good speaker. You need to, you know, you need to be very good in writing. You need to be very, very good with people also, because it's a career that involves meeting a lot of people. If you're going to do business development, it will be easy for you to, you know, gel with people, because I'm always looking out for new business. That's stuff that I do. You know, and so that's, even if Switch TV is looking for an agency, I think we'll be glad to have you on board. Did you just do that on air? Did you? No, I mean, did you just ask for business on air? I mean, they had. I hope they did. And the first session, this place was hot, but now I think I've adapted to it. Yes, you have. And you know, it's crazy, because, you know, media training is one of those things we do to a lot of CEOs. And you know, sometimes I always tell them that, you know, the studio will be a bit hot. Be ready for that. The first session, I wasn't ready for that. Like, oh my God, Mikali, could you guys reduce the heat? Oh my goodness, the lights are just okay. But you see, you've just already gotten into it. But then, because you went to school and you know what image that you want to portray, and you want your client to portray, then you are equipped with this information for them. And maybe you don't find yourself in this sport as much as they do. No. And we media train them, we bring lights also. But then you're on the other side. You're just like, angalia side, look at Mikali, don't look at the cameras. That's why I kept on asking you. But those are things that we also train. And one of the things I'll tell people, no one is ever perfect. I've taken CEOs for interviews, and also it's a normal thing. Yeah. But after a while, then someone gets used to it. Okay. Yeah. Where Joshua ilikuwa hapa earlier. It's not easy, but at least it takes. Will you ever come back? Do you think that to the newsroom? Yes. No. Oh, God. It's okay. So we have a couple of questions here for you. Hi, Mikali. What skills are employers looking for, especially for entry level? That is question 1. And 2, what opportunities exist in PR? So maybe we'll just look at what employers are looking for, especially for entry level. This is our SMS line 111 Just keep them coming, because Joel will be answering them for you. Yeah, so what a lot of agencies are looking out for nowadays, and I've seen it across all PR firms, is on entry level we do a lot of tests, writing tests, so to see whether you can be able to write. So if you're going to join any PR agency, I think it would be good to start honing your skills in news writing and reporting. So we'd give tests maybe in a speech or it's a crisis, or it's a crisis, we'll give you a scenario, how would you handle this? So we give you time to come up with a strategy on how you'll handle such a crisis. So we give you real life scenarios, so it's always good to be up to speed with what's happening in the news. We'd give you a real life situation and see how you'd handle it. So at least we see there's a potential. Because there's so many applicants, and that's why I always tell people you have to stand out. There's so many applicants, so what would make you stand out?
That should be the theme for you.
Yeah.
And the next question was, what opportunities exist in PR?
There are a lot of opportunities. For the longest time, you talk to people, they'll think, and that's why our industry has really morphed. Back in the day, you talk to, I've been invited to give talks in a lot of institutions, and you'd ask, okay, why do you want to do PR? A lot of people will tell you because of the events, and events now, that's no longer one of our forte. It's gone to experiential. So then you'll realize that this person doesn't really know what they want to do. But there's a lot of opportunities in crisis comms. There's strategy. There's and that's what we do as a team. We look at what your strengths are, and then that's what we assign you. So at the end of the day, I always tell people you're as strong as your weakest link. So if I knew you're good at speech writing, then why am I giving you a strategy assignment? So that's what we look at. We look at the different teams, and we see what's lagging in the agency, then that's what we try and recruit. So as an agency, that's what we've done, and I think a lot of other agencies also do that, because gone are the days where we'll have a one-on-one interview and put a glass there and ask you, is this glass half full or half empty?
No.
Those things have become cliche now.
No.
We want to see what kind of skills you have and what kind of skills you'll bring on board. So that's what we try and do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why my mind kept just going back to Scandal and how she's very good at crisis management. Olivia Pope.
So that's one of the things I do. And also wear other hats. I also serve the MSK board, the Marketing Society board. And I've also been a judge there twice, and also serving the PRSK. So as I told you, I'm very aggressive. I like to look for opportunities and also learning, because you see, when you join these boards, you meet other people who are also very good in their profession, and you learn from them. And then you bring that to where you work and try and see how you can onboard or embed that into your strategies. Because right now what has happened in PR is it has become, we do a lot of campaigns that are integrated. Marketing and communication strategies. So then how are you going to do that if you've just relied on, your PRs only? So that's why I'm both in both PR and MSK.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Placing yourself in certain positions for your good.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Caleb, a Form 1 student. Thank God for Chacha and you, Wikali. I'm just asking, which grade do I need to be a journalist like Joel? And this is good. At that age is where you start, because that's at that point as well, you knew what you wanted to get into. So this is a good question.
Yeah. So I mean, for any university to take you, it's a C plus. But journalism, I've always said, it's not about the grades. Also, if you're very good at what you do and very passionate and very consistent, but get at least a minimum grade to get you into college, or any institution of higher learning. Then from then, if you continue molding your skills, I think people will definitely notice.
Yeah. And if you know the direction that you want to go, then you focus on that and just keep asking questions around that, keep reading about that, so that even when you get the opportunity to get there, you're sure that you're not getting into it for events.
Yeah, I know, because when I was in the newsroom, we'd get a lot of applicants. I think even here, you get how many did you get per day?
Oof. DM peke yake too.
Yeah, so
emails,
no.
Crazy.
Yeah, so what will make you stand out, and that's why if there's anyone watching, what I've always told people, if you're going to interview at Switch, and there are 1,000 applicants, what will make you stand out? If you're going for that interview, start your own YouTube channel, do stories, and tell people, apart from that, I have my own channel, you guys can watch, these are the links. Then those are kind of the proactiveness that people will notice. Some other people will come there with their certificates, with their first class honors, whatever, they've gotten all A's. But one of the things I was told by one of my friends in the newsroom, the managing partner at KTN by then was called Katua Nzile. When you go there, a lot of us went there with a lot of textbook knowledge. Kwa ground vitu ni different. Yeah.
You get in there, and there's some things that you'll be told, oh, you need to work, weird hours, be okay to be called at whatever time. But it never hit you. You could be out for more, like 24 hours or even more, just trying to report on something, that your life might be in danger, that you might actually have accidents at work.
Yeah.
There are crazy things that happen when you're in that space. So you really want to be able to get in there, knowing that it is where that you want to be. Growing up the ranks, at Telem and in your career, and having all these other jobs that you do, sitting in boards and stuff, you have amassed a lot of influence in your circles. That means you have more to do. Responsibilities have also gone up. Agnes is also another responsibility. You have 2 boys and you have the family at large. How do you then try and maneuver and make sure that you sort of like get a balance? And most guys don't get asked this because you guys are so good at delegating.
Yeah, no delegating. I'm always part of the team. I always think of myself as I'm not a boss, I'm a leader. Yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah, so I've never been that type of person. So if I know, and this is something that has been instilled from a very tender age, when I age in terms of career age, when I started off, I tell them, would say, a deadline has to be met. So plan yourself well. If you know that on Saturday you need to do stuff with the kids, then you need to sacrifice time if there was a deadline, so that you meet both deadlines, both family responsibility and work. Because at the end of the day, I always tell people that yes, family comes first. So you need to ensure that you meet your obligation as a as a family man. But also work is what also keeps you going, is what pays the bills. So you need to find a way to balance. I know I tell them we don't encourage one of the things that we've been doing this for a very long time is we try and work smart. So if things are if our strategy is due, then we can easily divide the work, and that's what I was talking to you about. If someone is very good at writing, let them write. If there's someone who's good in strategy, so at the end of the day, then you give yourself deadlines. Let's all meet, we regroup at around 3 o'clock, we review everything, then by 5 we've sent it out.
Okay.
So also leverage on your team. So that's why we like having, and that's one of the things we've always been pushing with Elizabeth Cook and myself, is we try and ensure that the work environment is a very conducive environment, is where someone would love to go. We used to laugh with my colleagues who had kids back then. We used to look forward to Mondays because, you're getting a break from the kids, you're coming to the office. But, it's opposite with other people where you're cussing, it's Monday. And this is your workplace is somewhere you spend most of your time.
That's true.
So you need to make it very conducive, and that's part of the thing that we've done there. So people are always looking forward to meeting because it's always teamwork. I'd ask XYZ in the office, let's do this. Yeah, they're ready. So that's what has really helped us out a lot. So I'd never say that our MD is too senior enough to do a strategy. She does, or I'm too senior enough to do. And that's what we've always kept it very open. If there's a challenge, reach out to either myself or the MD or your team leaders, the account directors, to see how we can help and, finish a certain assignment on time. Because, the problem, one thing I realized with Kenyans is we hate to disappoint people. So sometimes you might know something is due and you're not telling me. And, there's once, you're traveling out of town and you knew you needed cameras. This person knows they didn't pack the cameras. And you're passing all towns. They're like, what were you thinking?
What were you thinking?
Yeah.
But what you just described is exactly what you mentioned, the difference between, being a boss and a leader, because at the level that you were there to serve, to make sure that they have a good environment to work with and that they can talk to you directly and all of that. And you are a risk taker, Joel. And I don't know what the next path of your life looks like. What are you going to jump on? Is there something grander that we should expect? Maybe in terms of career, something that you're doing on the side as well?
No, I think I'll just be in PR, or maybe in future I'll try venture into politics. Yeah, that's what I've always been a leader. So from primary school, I've been a school captain. High school, I was a school captain also. So I've always had the leadership in me. And I'm the 8th born in a family of 10. So I've also tried to stand out in the family. But yeah.
So politics.
Maybe, but
We'll be waiting. We shall be here waiting. I see an SMS here. Someone says Atihaim Wicks ni pipi from Bondo. Kwani mimi najua Joel Chacha yupi. I'm just confused. Hii sura naonanga news. This looks like they just joined in. What are you saying about our Joel Chacha?
Joel Chacha works out a lot. We hit the gym with him.
Guns,
So,
yeah. Guns zake huku. Huyu ni uncle ya Joel Chacha wetu. So. Yeah. Now you get, I'm just confused. It's just the name that runs in the family.
Yeah.
So what do you do for fun with all serious and stuff and you have family when you just want to unwind?
Yeah.
What is that thing for you?
So I like meeting new friends. That's one of the things I like.
I don't know why that feels like networking again.
It's
It
networking.
feels like working.
So yes, and playing golf and
Okay.
playing with the kids. Yeah, and just maybe on a weekend having a drink or two just to unwind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
this is not watershed hours, so I can't mention brands.
We'll just go with a lot of water and tea, perhaps,
Yes.
to unwind.
Yeah.
And what keeps you motivated and grounded to face the next day, to just be able to say, like, you know what, I have a reason to wake up and go do this and this and this that is expected of me.
Yes, so the ability for me to, provide a better future for my kids, that's what keeps me going. And that's one of the things my dad always told me, you need to work hard for your family. So that's what keeps me going. Just seeing, being able to pay tuition for your kids.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me going. And providing a shelter for the family.
Okay. Kuna opportunities za watu apply kazi uko Telem. Tumeipenda.
Opportunities, they can send their CVs and cover and work samples.
This is where now. This is it.
Yeah. It's so the email is joel.chacha@tel then -em-pr.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Yeah, so it's a very hard email.
Yes.
Yeah, so
okay.
it's joel.chacha@tel then -em-pr.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
so,
jokers.
Yeah. No. Yes. I mean, they can try, but we have a system of how we'll sieve through.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's, and I usually say there's usually no one like a joke, I'd say, because there are times when you're brainstorming and that person you thought was a joke is the one that gives you the best idea. And that's what I've told you, I tell them that's what we've always tried to do. We involve everyone in everything we do. So when we have a brainstorming, it won't be, top management. We'll involve everyone. Yeah, we want to hear your ideas.
Okay.
Because, our industry has morphed. Gone are the days where we just rely on traditional media. Nowadays, clients would want to be on TikTok. How would we do that?
That's true.
And that's what, internally, what we've always tried to use is the investment model, where back in the day it would be 70-20-10, where you'd look at you'd focus a lot on traditional media and leave the 10% to new media. But nowadays it's taking up.
Yeah,
it's eating it up. And
yes, it is.
so that's why we like to look for even new recruits, people who give us new ideas. Someone would come and tell me, Chacha, I've done this research on Telem, but I think if you want to take it to the next level, this is how you'd want to do it. So I like people that come up with new ideas.
All the best to you guys.
Yeah.
All the very best. Our time is up here, Joel.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
You look so much better than the first break.
I know. I mean, at the beginning, I think it's because I was running. So always ensure you're right on time. Running up the stairs and
easy.
going straight to the bench.
Floor.
Yeah.
Lies. We're
Na
taking
elevators fanyi kazi.
elevator. Where? Tuko first floor. Lies. Oh my God, it was lovely having you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And I think Joel Chacha, our Joel Chacha, has a great role model in you. So, Joel Chacha, if you're watching, you know who to follow. We are going to take a very short commercial break. We will be right back. This is Full Circle with Mukali.